Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am joined by my special guest today, Corey Griffin. Corey, how are you today?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. And we have to say for the record, there's no relation. Uh,
Right. Oh,
where
yeah, I forgot about that.
so
Yeah.
close enough,
Yeah.
but if you're watching the video, there's no relation. Corey, I'm really glad to have you here today. I think we have a lot of really interesting topics. But for the crowd out there who's never had the opportunity to meet you or see anything you've done on the internet, tell us a little bit about yourself and what are you currently working on?
Yeah. So I'm Corey Griffin. I'm currently working on Speakflow. I'm the founder and developer of that app or website rather. And I'm a software engineer, designer, musician. I have a lot of hobbies. So like I like photography, videography, everything. But mostly doing software engineering as in terms of how it relates to the internet. And yeah, that's me. I live in Los Angeles, 2 kids and a wife. Yeah.
We've known each other for a couple years now.
Mhm.
And before you used to have a day job. You
Yeah.
want to talk about kind of what you did before you quit your day job?
So my most recent job was Apple. I was working on the Apple Music team. I was software engineer there, mainly using Ruby on Rails. I know I could be a little technical because of the multi-threaded.
Yeah.
So we mainly use Ruby on Rails, which is kind of surprising for a lot of people when they hear that. But before that, I worked at Shopify, Vox, Rotten Tomatoes. Like I've had a lot of jobs, and this is just over like the last like 5 to 6 years. So definitely like a job hopper.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize so I know you worked at Apple. I actually didn't know you
hmm
worked at those other places. That's really interesting to learn.
hmm
So you've kind of jumped all around like Silicon Valley, right?
Remotely, a lot of it, yeah, a lot of it
Remotely.
was, yeah, remotely, right? A lot of it was based in LA. So the last in-person job that I had, well, Apple, they did the hybrid thing, but before that, the last in-person job I had was at Rotten Tomatoes in Beverly Hills. But yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about Speakflow.
hmm
And I want to lead into you were working on Speakflow while working a full time job. So, first, for anyone out there who's never heard of Speakflow, tell us kind of what Speakflow does.
So SpeakFlow is an online teleprompter or like a browser-based teleprompter that can do a lot. Is basically can follow your voice as you speak. It can sync multiple devices. It has team features, so you can collaborate on scripts. You can record videos in the browser with it. And yeah, kind of just like a really good teleprompter software, as oddly specific as that is. Yeah.
How'd you come up with the idea for Speakflow?
Um, So it was a couple years back, and my wife was on maternity leave, and I decided to. Well, we had a baby. She was on maternity leave. I was on paternity leave. And you help as much as you can, but it's not that much for you to do as the father. Like I'm not able to breastfeed or anything like that. So I would spend a lot of time like, all right, like how about I'll try to record some videos, or I wanted to get into content creation around that time. So this was with my first son. I was recording videos and realized I needed a teleprompter. And as you just saw, I'm not that great. It's like speaking off the cuff like that. So I needed a teleprompter. But my wife was busy with the baby, so it's not like I would have her. I couldn't have her just come back here and try to scroll for me. So I was like, oh, I'll try to scroll with your voice, see how that goes. So I made a version that does that, and it was totally free. I put it up online because I was like, it's useful. And it was free for a couple of years, and I think around the time that my second baby was born, either I forget if it was like before or right after, but around that time, I was like looking for SaaS ideas, and that thing was just kind of in the corner. It was called teleprompt.me at the time. And so I decided to like wrap that up and repackage it as a SaaS because it was free, but I had a newsletter of people that were expecting V2. I always talked about like a V2. So people knew like another one was coming or update for it was coming. And so around the time I had the second baby, I launched it and it kind of just grew from there.
Always find it fascinating. We were talking a little bit earlier. A mutual friend of
Mhm.
ours, Dave Sedia, who's been on the show, his product Recut came out of kind of the same squirrel moment of I he wanted to create content but in order to create content, you have to build a tool to help you build the
Of
content.
course, of course.
And
You have to.
I feel like, just developers in general make horrible entrepreneurs in this case because we always want to build the tools and we worry about the tools and the technology more than we do the actual product.
And it's funny, it
So
doesn't stop because I even have like so many like custom tools that I've built to help me with SpeakFlow now. So like it gets deep. It gets just layer on layer on top of like, well, I want to do that. Before I do that, I have to do X, Y, and Z. And so I have a whole meta stack of stuff on top of SpeakFlow. Yeah.
is there anything in the stack of tools you've built for SpeakFlow that you think could be their own product by themselves?
Yeah. Specifically around like just customer support. That became such a big thing. I think just the nature of the product, it's very accessible. Um, so I get a lot of people that kind of come in, kick the tires, have questions, and I'm happy to talk to customers about it. And yeah, I've just needed a way, like some of the things we built recently was like customer scoring, um, integrations with Slack, like using ChatGPT to like do certain things. Like this person's probably important. We might want to follow up with them. So I have like a little Jarvis helper in my Slack. Um, all sorts of like little jobs that run daily that tell me like, oh, this person came in from there. You should route them to like, yeah. There's definitely a couple products worth of stuff on top of SpeakFlow that I want to launch, like spin off separately.
And you said SpeakFlow, so it started as, what was it? Teleprompter.me
It was
was
called
the original name of it?
teleprompt.me. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that was a free product with a mailing list. What pushed you to start charging for it as a product?
I just needed an idea. Like I had tried so many products, and that one was free, and it seemed like it was too little to charge for. Like it was just like
Yeah.
online tools. Like, and I have a couple. Like I have like Swole.fitness. I don't even know if that's still live, but like during the pandemic, I wanted like an interval timer because I was really into like hit workouts,
Hmm.
high intensity interval training, right? So like you would need like, okay, I'm going to do this for 1 minute, this for 2 minutes, whatever. So I launched that tool, and a lot of the stuff I launched is like just little free tools. And I decided to relaunch the teleprompter.me as a paid tool because think the email list got up to like a couple of thousand. I want to say like 5 to 8, somewhere around there. It was like a lot of people. And so I was like, well, there's clearly like it was kind of like, why am I ignoring this? Like why not put the effort into like rebuilding this thing that I have thousands of people, checking for? So it was kind of just like pulling up a stone that you forgot about. It's like, oh, there's a whole little cave under here that I could explore. So yeah.
What was the process? You rebuilt the tool and then you started charging for it afterwards?
So the first version was like just plain HTML, CSS, JavaScript, like no build, no compilers. It was literally like index.html. And I think I had like the JavaScript in that HTML file even. Like it was a very simple setup. Um, there was no like user system or anything like that. And then when I decided to rebuild it, I think I tried like buy me a coffee to see like, hey, I'm working on this new thing. If you want like beta access to it, just to kind of like validate will people actually pay me for it. And a couple
Yeah.
people did. Um, so that felt good. I think I used another service too. I forgot what it was called. Like I don't want to pay here or something, pay me.co, something like that.
Hmm.
So I did like some minor validation around like, like, hey, the new one's coming, get the like early bird pricing just to see if anybody would do it. So enough people signed up for that. And that's what made me go ahead and rebuild it. And I just built it with Rails. And no like there's a lot of starter kits out around now, but like at the time it was just kind of like devise, Rails, Stripe setup. Really simple. Yeah.
You had to do all the lifting yourself. It's why you had to build so many tools for
Yes.
supporting SpeakFlow.
I think that's just a force of habit. Yeah.
Now, just kind of the timeline of SpeakFlow. How far are we from when you made your first dollar from it?
It's kind of hard to say. I want the range of like 3 or 4 years. I don't recall exactly, but it's been a couple years now for sure.
Now, and then this whole time you're working a full-time job. How much would you say? So you obviously working your full-time job. How much time are you devoting to SpeakFlow as a side thing? Is it kind of your primary side thing, or were you doing other things at the same time?
No, honestly, like I've had like a lot of products. Like I do music. Like I release music. Um, like on distros. I've gotten a couple syncs with shows with music. I do photography. Like client work, like shooting family. I love like doing like family portraits and stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't do it as much anymore. But like around that time, I was like really distracted by a lot of stuff with the kids and like online magazines. I had a thing called Revel, like a Twitter bot. I was trying to do like that was like automated music news. Like it would scrape all the top music sites and then like tweet the most popular stories. And that was like trying to like make my own distribution for my own music. So every once in a while I could tweet my own stuff. uh but yeah, just a ton of little things. It was always just kind of like off to the side. Like even after I made it a SaaS, it was just like it's there, but wasn't my main focus.
Eventually, you had to get to the point where you quit your job at Apple, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming SpeakFlow was a major part of that decision of going full
Yeah.
time, or not really full time, but going full time for yourself and
Yeah.
quitting your day job. What was the criteria you kind of held yourself to lead up to that moment where you put in your notice?
Um It's probably about 2 years ago when I really started getting like maybe I tend to get like obsessive about things. But like
Yeah,
I hit, it was like the building public thing was like in full swing. Like the whole like indie hacker community, product hunt. I think product hunt was maybe even a little bit before that, but just there's a lot of like energy around like SaaS and build your own thing and all that kind of stuff. So that's when I decided like, okay, I have to focus. So I stopped freelancing. I think I tweeted this at some point, but it's like I stopped freelancing. I kind of like put my side projects on hold, like just let them go and really just double down on SpeakFlow. Um, but what that looked like was like 5 to 10 hours a week. Like it wasn't a ton of time. I wanted to be able to replace my salary. In short, so uh, the goal was if I mean I applied to Apple like 4 times, and, like, from when I graduated college in, like, 2015, that was always my goal, like, specifically Apple, like, people say Fang, but it's like, I'm a huge Apple fanboy, I don't care, I'm shameless about it. Like, I love Apple,
yeah,
even now, like, leaving, so, um, to leave Apple was kind of just like, alright, being here itself is an opportunity, it's a dream come true being here, so if I do leave, it needs to be like worth the opportunity. And I kind of just kept putting it off. But what kind of ended up like the catalyst for me leaving was really like I had family that had gotten sick. I was dealing with a lot of like mental health issues and uh, just a lot of stuff like coinciding where it's just like, okay, I have this opportunity. Time isn't, promised, right?
yeah.
So you have to just kind of go for it. And it was like coinciding like the end of the year. So I'm like 2024, new year, new me. That's cliche, whatever. It worked out. It worked out for me. And I just wanted to just try to just jump. Like I turned 30 last year. So that was like another thing was just like, you know, time is marching on. You have things you want to do. Like, let's get to it. So um I quit because I realized I could pay myself at least my base salary. I'm still not matching like the stock benefits and all that kind of stuff, but I was able to like swap the job without any notice to like my family. Like there's no difference in lifestyle or anything. That was what it was. I did my criteria was I didn't want it to jeopardize anything personally. Like for my family, like I could take an L personally, but I didn't want like I can't buy toys for my kids or me and my wife
Yeah.
can't go out for dates and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't really willing to sacrifice that.
And I think more testament, you're in California. It's
Yeah.
not like you're leaving in, for lack of a better term, like podunk
Yeah.
United States, like Midwest, where there's nothing,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
where the cost of living isn't like $10,000 a year. It's not like you're
Yeah.
way below your means. You're living in, let's just say, a state that usually requires a higher cost of living across the
Yeah,
board. So
yeah.
you're doing really well
Yeah.
to maintain that status quo that you had previously at
Yeah.
a fairly large like Silicon Valley company.
Yeah.
So so you're doing well, and so
Mhm.
is that income just kind of not like talking numbers or anything, but like the income, is that primarily from SpeakFlow, or is it also the combination of the other things you're doing on the side?
Um, it's a mix. It's definitely like I would say a huge chunk of it, probably like 80, 90% plus is just SpeakFlow, but I still do music. I don't really do photography as much anymore, but I definitely have like consulting clients that just like linger. Like, like you have like the people that just
Yeah.
you can't yeah. So I don't take on new clients, but I definitely have people who are like, that they're just like I've had those as clients for years. So like they'll need little updates here and there. So I do that. But yeah, it's a lion's share of it is SpeakFlow.
What's the ideal scenario for you? Like, if you had to choose how you wake up every day, are you living that now? Or is there anything you would change?
I make enough, right? Like if I don't make any more,
Yeah.
if SpeakFlow doesn't grow anymore, like I'm definitely like solid. Like I'm happy enough. Like we did the remodel before I quit on my house. So like we have enough space, we have enough money. I live in South Central, so I maybe would want to live in a better area. But even like now,
Mhm.
like it's fine. I grew up here. Like it's not like it is in the movies. Um, but yeah, no, I would say I'm pretty much living it. The only thing I would change would be day to day is a lot of adjustment. Like I'm definitely not like working out as much as I want to or reading as much as I want to. Like it's that kind of stuff where I feel like I have
Yeah.
like a lot of room for improvement. But uh in terms of overall lifestyle, like no, I would say it's another dream come true. Like like Apple is a dream, working for yourself is a dream, and I would say that's definitely checked off. Feeling good.
Yeah. So is SpeakFlow in particular where you see yourself working for the next, say, 5 years, 10 years, or are there other initiatives you have on your list that you'd like to go off and work on?
I want to try the like VC backed route. Um, and just I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I tend to get pushback when I like talk to my friends about the idea, but it's like I just want to
Yeah.
try it, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's like so I tried the job thing, I tried the self-employed thing, and VC is like self-employed in general, but like having like a team, running a team, getting management experience, being a CEO of I don't want to say like some giant company, but like just trying it really is just one of the goals there. So that's probably what I'll do next.
So SpeakFlow, it's just you, right? Do you have any contractors or employees that work for you with SpeakFlow?
Yeah, so I have it's me, and then I have like 2 part-time contractors, and one person's kind of like graphic design. He's my it's really I hired my best friend. So like he's like genius, always he's the smartest person I know. Um, and he just has a really wide skill set. So he could do like graphic design, product thinking, systems design thinking,
Mhm.
just brilliant dude. And then I have my sister who's customer support, and she's a stay-at-home mom, so she has plenty of time. Like she's off, like she's down. So eh, you know, hire her, and that was just like an easy call as well. So yeah, just
If
those two.
you if you were to go the VC route with SpeakFlow, what's the first thing you would want to hire to help with? What
I would
what would the VC help you with?
um, it would be. I mean, it would be with a separate idea for sure. Not
Hmm.
SpeakFlow, but
Okay,
if
going a different
yeah,
route.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would be like a different. And I have ideas that I'm playing around with in regards to that, but I really would just want to use that as an excuse to like learn from like hire like a head of marketing and see what they do compared to like how
yeah,
what I do with Speak for like um hire like a architect level software engineer. I'm senior level, but there's still plenty enough that I don't know. And I would love to like talk about that's it's an issue I have now where it's like there's nobody to talk to, right? Like at the
yeah.
other jobs, like if you need like, hey, I'm not sure about how to do this, you could just walk over somebody. And here it's just like maybe a couple of Slack channels here and there, or Slack groups, but like, having somebody that's really in the trenches with you and like cares, that's for sure missing. So that's what I would look for. Just an excuse to hire and learn from people that are better than me.
Yeah, I fully understand. There's something about having that partner that you have a mutual goal. You just want the product to succeed. You want it to grow bigger, better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh like Slack groups and mutual friends, they're great, but they don't have that mutual uh success goal that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
And they're not thinking about long term. They're thinking about just answering your question.
Yeah.
And having that person on the team that goes, I have a great idea. I think this will help us for the next 2, 3 years if we do X, Y, and Z. I
Yeah.
definitely miss that part about being on like a small startup team and being able to just riff off each other. That's so important. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I find that it's usually, like, the context, like, you get folks that, like, care, right? Like, you're in the same, like, Slack group, and it might be like, I could ask you something, and I know you care genuinely about my problem, but you don't have the
yeah,
context of why I might do a certain thing or, like, really how like to work or, like, the company history, where we're going, and all that kinda stuff. So, I would say, like, it's not that you can't get, like, authentic help, but it's just even context. Like, even if somebody really wanted to help you, they just can help you probably to the depth that I will be looking for right now,
just
at
be
least.
careful when you take the VC. Don't go off and build the tool to build the thing for
Yeah,
the VC. You got to be careful. I
right.
don't think they like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Corey, I think you had mentioned earlier that you had worked on a bunch of other little things, kind of leading up to eventually starting and moving forward with SpeakFlow.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the things that you have either failed on or things that started working but you decided not to work on anymore?
Yeah, I've had a lot of failures. The first thing I think I launched when I was, like, 14 was called, it's like an image uploader. I forgot the name of it. It was an image uploader, but I learned a lesson about, like, why you don't put an image uploader for free up on the internet, basically.
Hmm.
It was just, like, trashed and, people uploading all sorts of crap to it.
Yeah.
Um, I think it got hacked is why I ended up shutting down because I was, like, learning SQL and PHP, like, just vanilla PHP at the time. I don't even these people say vanilla PHP? I don't even know, but it was just it was, like, no framework. It was, like, I
Yeah.
think before, like, Composer, I think is the PHP thing. I don't use PHP, you can tell anymore. But, that was the first thing. Um, what was the other ones? I did a art community, like a DeviantArt, community after that, and that actually did pretty well, but we shut down because I think I was, like, 16 and I couldn't afford the hosting bill. I didn't have a job, and I was, like, partnering with it. I was actually just the programmer for my friend who was, like, the leader of it, uh, Nate Milburn, I don't know, and after that, I did TuneCub, which was a music tool. So I would make songs and then you make the cover art, but it would be kind of hard. Like if you weren't like if you didn't know editing software, it would basically you upload an image, upload the song, and it combines it for you so that you can post it on like Instagram and stuff like that.
Oh, good
And that
times.
was
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of like the first lesson. Like making stuff for musicians doesn't tend to work out because none of us have any money. So it's like not like nobody wants to pay for anything. So it's like I think it just wasn't going to work out, especially not as a SaaS idea. Um, so that just didn't pan out because there was a lot of like uploading. Again, it was like an uploading thing. Um, so there was a lot of what was the issue with? I'm trying to remember. Like there was an issue why that one shut down. But it was a hosting cost thing again with that one, and then also people were up using it to upload porn. So you'll find that
Hmm.
was like I keep running into that problem because every time I make something where people can upload stuff, that also happened with Hyperlink, right? And Hyperlink was the first thing that kind of took off. It was like a link tree type service. Um, and it was like crypto was huge at the time. So there was like a lot of crypto spam and people were
Hmm.
using Hyperlink to market like the crypto stuff. Also, the porn people, but they were fine. But it was like OnlyFans. People were like, because you couldn't link directly to OnlyFans, I guess, from Instagram. So they would like put their
Yeah.
OnlyFans link on Instagram on Hyperlink. Um, and that actually led to Instagram blocking it because I wasn't doing like a good moderation job. So they blocked it, and that pretty
Uh,
much killed the product, even though it was taking off. I think that one got up to like a couple hundred MRR. So that sucks, but it was like that pretty much killed it. That pretty much killed all my motivation for me because I was like reaching out to them and saying like like what can I do? I'm a one person team, like work with me. I never even heard a response back, so I was just
yeah.
like womp womp. Uh, and those are like the big three. I mentioned like the Twitter bot, TuneCub. Oh, then there was crudely drawn love letters. So it was hand drawn like with marker, like Crayola. It was me and my friend, and we would both just draw them and mail it out. And I think it was like $10. It ranked pretty well in Producton. I want to say it did like number 4 or something. The founder of I forgot, I'm blanking on his name. The founder of Product Hunt at the time, he like tweeted it out or something too. It was cool. But anyway, we got way more than we thought, and we like were hand drawing like I don't even know, like 100 or more of these little
Yeah.
things, and it was like a couple of days. It was around this time, so it was like I had the idea like a couple of days before Valentine's Day. So it was also a rush because we had to ship it in time so that we can get it sent out. But that was like when the first time I experienced like the high of like the Stripe notifications were just coming in, and like it was like cool, but it started to get stressful because like every ping was like, dang, now I got to think of an idea to draw because we weren't copying them. It was like new ideas, like okay, like you
Oh,
are my
yeah.
sunshine. Like it was, like one of them was like you are my sunshine, and it was like a sun with like a little weird, like almost like a Rick and Morty type, like creepy, like cute but cute kind of a smile thing going on. Anyway, yeah, but you don't want to hand draw service thing. It's not a good idea.
Sounds like nowadays you could do Dolly with a
Exactly.
3D printer and you just say, "All right, come up with an idea and then like just draw the picture and then someone's there to
Yeah.
collect all the pictures." And maybe that's the
Honestly, I
next big
wanted to
idea.
relaunch it this year, and that was an idea that was like using the Dolly thing, but I was like, I wasn't sure if like the appeal of it was the fact that it was like on the Instagram we were showing like, look, we're drawing it right now. It's just us, and it would be random too. Like you couldn't order a specific
Yeah.
one. It would just be like whatever we drew. That's what you get. People would post them on
There,
Instagram. Yeah.
yeah. I really think it's the novelty of it. Like there's the business that sends potato messages to people. So it's like
Yeah.
something written on a potato. Like it's
That's funny.
absolutely not a scalable business. Like they
Yeah.
probably have a bunch of people writing the same message or two on a bunch of potatoes, but it's the novelty of it. So
Yeah.
in a couple months, we're not going to hear about that business
Right.
anymore. Something that you said kind of in the pre-show was the high of the Stripe notifications,
Mhm.
like just that dopamine hit of knowing I put something out there and someone's paying for it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh, like, has that kind of helped you? I'm sure with SpeakFlow, now you kind of have the reoccurring revenue. Does that help a lot in the motivation to continue what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it in terms of like helping other people do it. So, for example, my brother is a guitarist, and um, he's launching some more like products, like digital products, physical products. But I helped him set up like an online store, and he made like $1,000 from like a guitar pack. It's called like so he sells like basically like a guitar pack that other producers can use like in their productions,
Hmm.
and that did super well. So like helping kind of like living it vicariously through other people is something that I love, like helping like those clients when they launch something and I'm like, look, hook up your Stripe account, tweet it out, and then the money comes in. It's like, I love that feeling. So like I do look for like little places to edge it out. But for me, it's definitely like I get the daily like, oh, this yesterday you made this much. I'm just like, nice. Like that's crazy. Yeah.
When we were doing a product a long time ago, I used to love the regular emails you get from Stripe that says, "This is your payouts coming, and
Yeah.
this is how much your
Yeah.
payouts going to be." I'm like, "Yes, that's the best
Yeah.
email."
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
you've already taken the fees out.
Yeah.
I get enough money for a Big Mac at McDonald's, and I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, it's funny because things
But
start to like, you start to budget for things like in terms of how much you're bringing in, right? So to be like, well, I want that. It seems expensive, but it's like that's like a week. That's like a week of speak flow. I could do that. Like, that
yeah.
becomes like your new measurement of money. Yeah.
Well, Corey, just kind of wrapping things up. Is there anything you like to promote other than SpeakFlow? We'll drop it in our show notes.
Not really social media. Like follow me. Like I'm trying to like
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
pretty quiet on social media, but this year one of my goals is to like start like being on more podcasts, being more public about stuff. So definitely follow me. It's at I am Corey G on everything. I'm on Blue Sky, X, Instagram, uh, Threads. I got a blog, iamcoreyg.com. My Spotify is Corey G. You could follow me, check out my music on there. So
Just
yeah.
put it on repeat and you get a couple pennies, right? And
Yeah, a couple fractions of
yeah,
a penny. There you go.
all right, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Corey, it was a pleasure chatting with you. And like I tell everyone, we'll have to have you back in a year or so and just kind of see where everything is and
Yeah.
give the community a checkup.
Yeah, I'm
But
down.
I really appreciate you having you on the show.
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Everyone else, thank you for listening to the Multithreaded Income Podcast, and we'll see you next week. You've been listening to the Multithreaded Income Podcast. I really hope that this podcast has been useful for you. If it has, please take a moment to leave a review wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget, the conversation doesn't stop here. Join us on our Discord at mti.to/Discord. I've been your host, Kevin Griffin, and we'll see you next week. Cha-ching!